principalities that are around us now. And principality is an area. Some cities are known as principalities.
Yes.
That's why they call them principalities. They're princes in this area, and they rule in this area. There's a ruling principality over this area we live in. The city of Seattle, there's principalities over it. There's demonic spirits that come in here and they rule this area. You wonder why Washington, the state of Washington in which we live in, is next to the second worst state for church attendance. Because the principalities rule over it. They talk to them. They're out there working 24/7. They're dedicated. They're dedicated to hell. A territory or jurisdiction rules by a despot. The last part of that passage, and we can't go into all of them today, we'll continue this next week, but is the spiritual host of wickedness in heavenly places. Host. That means a multitude. And what could be more wicked? What could be more wicked? What could be more wicked than giving somebody cancer, TB, arthritis, pneumonia, stroke, blindness, deafness, heart trouble? The list is endless. I mean, we are seeing a host of sicknesses today. You know something interesting? I have been studying a book on the history of the healing movement in the Pentecostal church. It's really interesting. It's one of those books that you pick up, you can't put it down. It's just so good. And it talks about all these healing evangelists that have gone before us. Thank Jesus for them. I thank God for them because in their life stories, it talks about some of the miracles that happened and what happened to them, what kind of lives these men had. And they were put aside. They were shunned by the religious church. They were shunned by the religious people.
Yes, they were.
Because they felt they were over the hill. They felt that this had passed. And they were they were charlatans, and they were what do they call them? There's a word for it. It slips my mind right now. It's the guy that sells hair tonic to the bald guy, and this guy that's selling it is as bald can be. But he's selling these bottles of hair tonic, and the story goes on. This is what they believed they were. And it tells the story in one city where this man was in ministry. His name was Jack Coe. For you that are listening and know the history there, Jack Coe was in this town and he was arrested for practicing medicine. There were so many people getting healed. Let that just sink in your brain just a minute. There were so many people getting healed and set free and out of the hospitals, they arrested him for practicing medicine. And they'd bring the people to his crusades, and they brought him in wheelchairs. At one crusade, there was many as 10 ambulances lined up with bodies. People died of cancer, and they were bringing to him, and he was getting them healed. And the medical profession and the people in the city, they arrested him. They took him out in handcuffs in the meeting because he was practicing medicine. That's the battle they had. And now today, most churches don't even talk about it. It's totally slipped under the cracks and it's gone.
That's right.
Look at me. Look at me. I am not going to back down on the healing message.
Amen.
I tell you that right
Praise
now.
God.
Because I believe it's true. I believe we have to change the mind of the people. We're the same people here that we are in India. In India, we see hundreds of people healed. But over in America, where we're operating now, so many people, their minds have been clouded by doubt and unbelief. Even Jesus himself could work no miracles because of
unbelief.
It wasn't lack of money. It wasn't lack of transportation. It was because the people did not believe. Quit looking at people as the problem. It's the spirits of darkness that are trying to bring a wedge into your life, between you and others. It's a spirit of darkness. You're saying, you don't know what this person does. Doesn't matter what they've done. They're probably under some influence themselves. And by you snapping at him, and by you losing your patience, flying off the handle, what you're doing, you're working right into the devil. You're working right into the hands of the devil. That's exactly what he wants you to do. And when they have their little meeting up in heaven, this is how they come in. Did you see so-and-so? Yeah, I got him to lose his temper. I got her to yell and scream. Yes. And they have this thing, they have a board up there, and they put a star by that demon's name. And that demon that's assigned to you, how did you do last week with McNeely? Well, I got a couple times, but it wasn't as good as I thought it would be. How did you do with Brian Gorski? Well, I got him this week a little bit on that carpet that he got his basement, and boy, he was really on the edge over that. Yeah. So much of this is spiritual things that come into our lives, and we look at it as, bringing a wedge in between your loved ones. Yeah. Your church, your fellow workers, people that you work with. I can't stand so-and-so. I can't stand so-and-so. Well, you're going to change that. You're the one that has to change it. What did we just read? What do you want to see in 2009? If you want to see change in 2009, then you have to make changes. Amen. You say, well, if they change, I'll change. It ain't going to happen, baby. It's you that's got to change. Well, I don't like that idea. That's the way God has set it up. See, this involves thoughts, careless words, retaliate, meanness, unforgiving, grudges. The enemy will use whatever crack he can find to get into your life and bring a split. And then they start working on you. The second R is refuse. This is a challenge. This is a challenge. Refuse Satan when he challenges the words of the Lord. Don't buy into his trap. The other night, I woke up and I was in pain. I mean, wow. And it was hurting. It was about 2 in the morning, about 1 o'clock, 1:30, somewhere there. I went into my office. I said, God, what is this? Yeah. I mean, it was hurting. It actually brought tears to my eyes. And I opened up my Bible, and I'll be honest with you, I could hardly read it. I thought, God, where are you? Now, I know none of you have ever been there. Okay, I understand that. So this will be a little bit foreign to you. But this is where I was. And what I was doing, I was refusing the Word of God and accepting what the enemy was trying to do to me. See, nothing defeats the enemy faster than when you fail to get stirred up and set or fly off the handle. Or start to downthink the Word of God. Well, I guess it don't work. I guess it don't work. I've tried and I've prayed this and I've laid hands here. I laid hands on every part of my body that I could touch. Thinking, God, and nothing changed. Nothing defeats the enemy faster than when you fail to get upset with God. See, that's what he wants. Remember Eve? Did God say? Did God say? Did God say that? Does that really mean that? Does it really mean when you lay hands on the sick? Does it really mean that? Or is that just something that is from the past? Does it really mean that? Yes, it means that. Yes. And you've got to stand up no matter how you feel, no matter how the pain is, no matter what the doctor said. You've got to stand up and say, no! Yes. You're not going to have one more inch. I'm coming at you. It may look silly. It may look foolish. It may look like I've got 5 rocks in my pocket or sling in my back pocket. But I'm going to slay Satan. I'm going to slay the Goliath. And that's exactly what David said.